Title: My wife kept telling me I was paranoid. Turns out I wasn't. I don't even know who I married anymore. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. For years I'd read stories on Reddit about cheating spouses, hidden phones, lies that got bigger every day, and I'd always think, there has to be more to the story. I honestly believed that if someone was being cheated on, there had to be obvious signs. People don't just wake up one morning and destroy their marriage, right? I was wrong. I'm 36. My wife is 34. We've been together for almost 11 years and married for 8. No kids. We kept putting that conversation off because we were focused on work, saving money, renovating the house we bought 3 years ago, and just, life. Until recently I would have described our marriage as stable. Not perfect. Stable. We argued like every couple. Sometimes she'd get sarcastic when she was stressed. Sometimes I'd shut down instead of talking. We weren't the kind of couple who posted romantic photos every weekend or acted like we lived inside a Hallmark movie. We had routines. Friday takeout. Sunday grocery shopping. Watching stupid reality TV before bed while pretending neither of us actually liked it. I thought boring was good. Apparently she thought boring was a reason to burn everything down. Looking back now, I can see the first cracks. They were tiny. Easy to ignore. She started spending more time on her phone. That's normal, right? Everyone does. Then she changed her password. When I asked why, she laughed. Because you're nosy. I wasn't nosy. I had never once gone through her phone. Then she started turning the screen away whenever I walked into the room. Again, I convinced myself I was imagining things. One Friday she came home almost 2 hours later than usual. There was traffic. Okay. The next week. There was another meeting. Fine. The week after that. My phone died. Sure. There was always an answer. Always. And somehow every answer sounded just believable enough that questioning it made me feel like an insecure husband. That became her favorite strategy. Any time I asked a reasonable question, she'd immediately flip it around. Why are you interrogating me? Don't you trust me? You're acting weird lately. You're making problems out of nothing. At first I'd apologize. Seriously. I'd end up saying something like, sorry, I guess I'm overthinking. She'd sigh dramatically and act like she was the victim. I can't live like this if you're constantly suspicious. The crazy thing? I wasn't suspicious. Not yet. I was confused. There's a difference. Then her personality started changing. She became mean. Not angry all the time. Just sharp. Everything I did annoyed her. If I forgot to buy milk, she'd act like I'd ruined the entire week. If I folded laundry differently than she liked, she'd call me incompetent. If dinner wasn't exactly what she wanted, she'd roll her eyes and order food without asking if I wanted anything. Little comments. Tiny cuts. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. One night I spent almost 4 hours replacing our broken dishwasher. I was exhausted. Covered in dust. My back hurt. When I finally finished, she walked into the kitchen, looked at it for maybe 5 seconds, and said, "You installed it crooked." No, thank you. No smile. Nothing. I checked it with a level. It wasn't crooked. She knew it wasn't crooked. She just wanted something to criticize. I started wondering if she'd always been like this and I'd simply ignored it. Then came the first lie I could actually prove. She told me she was spending Saturday with her sister. Cool. I stayed home, cleaned the garage, watched a baseball game, and ordered pizza. Around 6 that evening her sister called me. Not because anything was wrong. She wanted to know if we were still coming over for dinner the following weekend. I casually said, "Oh, I thought you two were together today." Silence. What? I immediately covered. Oh, I must have mixed up the weekends. We hung up. I just stood there staring at the wall. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe my wife met her in the morning. Maybe plans changed. Maybe. When she got home I didn't accuse her. I simply asked, "So how's your sister doing?" Without hesitation she smiled. "She's good." "What did you guys end up doing?" "We had lunch. Walked around downtown. Nothing exciting." Every word came out effortlessly. Like she'd rehearsed it. I nodded. Didn't argue. Didn't tell her I'd spoken to her sister. I just watched. She kissed me on the cheek. Asked if I'd eaten. Started talking about some random coworker drama. Like nothing had happened. That night I barely slept. Not because I knew she was cheating. Because I knew she'd lied. Confidently. Without even blinking. Once someone proves they're willing to lie over something completely unnecessary, every other memory suddenly feels different. The next few weeks got stranger. She started buying new clothes. Nothing wrong with that. Except she'd always hated shopping. Now packages arrived almost daily. New dresses. Perfume she'd never worn before. Expensive makeup. She even joined a gym after saying for years she hated gyms. Good for her. Except, she almost never exercised with me anymore. I'd ask if she wanted to go hiking. No. Bike ride? No. Movie? I'm tired. Dinner? Maybe another time. But somehow she had endless energy for girls' nights. Funny how that works. One evening I got home earlier than expected. Her car was in the driveway. The house was quiet. I called her name. Nothing. I walked upstairs. The bathroom door was closed. I knocked. No answer. When I opened it, she jumped so hard she almost dropped her phone into the sink. She looked terrified. Not startled. Terrified. "What the hell?" she snapped. "You scared me." "Sorry. I called your name. I had headphones on." Except, she wasn't wearing headphones. I noticed immediately. She followed my eyes. Then grabbed a pair from the counter. I just took them off. Another lie. Tiny. Pointless. Automatic. That scared me more than anything. People who lie constantly don't even realize they're doing it anymore. It becomes instinct. I wish I could tell you I confronted her right then. I didn't. Part of me still wanted to believe I was misunderstanding everything. Then something happened that completely shattered whatever trust one had left. It was a Tuesday. Raining all day. She texted me around 4 in the afternoon. "Working late again. Don't wait up." Simple enough. Around 7 my friend Mark called. He owns a small sports bar across town. We'd known each other since college. He asked if I could help him move some heavy shelves after closing because one of his employees had called in sick. I drove over. Spent about an hour helping him. We were carrying the last shelf toward the storage room when he suddenly stopped walking. "Dude." "What?" "Isn't that your wife?" My stomach dropped. I looked toward the far corner booth. There she was. Not working late. Not with coworkers. Not with her sister. She was sitting across from a guy I'd never seen before. She was laughing. Holding his hand across the table. And then, she leaned over and kissed him. Not a quick peck. A real kiss. Long enough that there was no room for misunderstanding. I couldn't breathe. For a few seconds my brain completely shut down. Mark quietly said, "I'm sorry. I don't remember walking toward them. I don't remember deciding to move." 1 second I was frozen. The next I was standing beside their table. My wife looked up. The color drained from her face. She whispered one word. "Hi."